From Attractions Magazine, Chuck E. Cheese for Adults. New Chuck's Arcade concept now open in 11 locations. This is by Blake Taylor, July 7, 2025. A Chuck E. Cheese for Adults called Chuck's Arcade is now open in 11 locations with games, animatronics, and merch. See the list of cities below. Entrepreneur Charles Entertainment Cheese is once again exploring new business ventures. Chuck's Arcade, a spin-off concept with a demographic of, quote, adults and lifelong fans of Chuck E. Cheese, is now open in several U.S. locations, as announced on July 3rd, 2025 by CEC Entertainment. Chuck's Arcade consists of a selection of new and classic arcade games, as well as an out-of-use Chuck E. Cheese animatronic on display. Patrons might see Chuck E. himself, or one of the members of Munch's Make-Believe Band, the name of the animatronic band at Chuck E. Cheese restaurants. The Kansas City location is the brand's flagship, officially named Chuck's Arcade and Pizzeria. It boasts a full menu plus historical Chuck E. Cheese artwork. Okay, so this is, I think, very, very interesting. You can see the 11 locations right here. Hey, maybe it's actually in a town near you. You can see that there. But Jonas, is this a play for people trying to chase nostalgia, or do you think this is actually like a venture that is that can actually be financially viable? I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen right here. You can kind of get a sense of what these actually look like through here. There's a couple of people on YouTube who have recorded these. You can see some of that footage on the screen right now. These are basically glorified kind of arcade rooms featured in like shopping malls and so forth. I mean, what are you thinking?
This looks like a cheaper version of Dave and Buster's to me. This does. There's no reason that a child wouldn't look at that and say, "Why can't I play?" It sounds like the adults only aspect is actually kind of insulting to the adults themselves. Here's the thing about doing an arcade for adults, and I don't drink, so the idea of an arcade with alcohol, that doesn't really appeal to me. Maybe it does to you. I'm not judging anyone there on that, but generally speaking, when I go into an arcade like this, they'll say, well, here's a new and updated version of a classic game that now costs like $1 per play. So, they're already kind of taking me out of it there. The new versions of Pac-Man are well, they're lame and they don't play like the original, so I don't like them. Defender, okay, that's great, but this seems kind of infantilizing, but also it's not like they're scaling up what they're doing to appeal to adults. It's just saying, what if we did a Chuck E. Cheese and didn't allow any children in? So I'm not really seeing what the difference is here, other than saying that kids can't come into it. Also, let's point out that Chuck E. Cheese right there looks a lot like the current version of Chuck E. Cheese, like the mid version of Chuck E. Cheese. Not quite updated, not quite the nostalgic look that they're looking for, because he still has the modern costume on him. I don't know. I just don't feel like they fully thought through what they're doing here. If it's a nostalgia play, that's a miss for me. If it's just an arcade and they don't let any kids in, I don't think it has the quality there. I feel like if arcades themselves were popular, actually, here's what I want. I want an arcade that will kick out people that are misbehaving themselves in the arcade. I don't care if they're kids or not. That's the only thing that I want. So it's not the kid thing that's the problem.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, I don't think it's a good thing either. That's the problem. I just don't know about the financial viability, and especially right now. I think there may have been a resurgence in some of this pre-pandemic, and we saw some experience-driven locations even in shopping malls. I know my local malls feature like a Crayola experience, like crayons and stuff like that. I've heard it's got a big space, big footprint. I think it is definitely viable there. I've seen like aquariums and so forth be featured in malls. So less of a retail thing, more of an experience driven thing, not too dissimilar to what the 1980s featured when it came to arcades and getting people over there and getting people in and getting people shopping. So there's that. And then you also have the kind of resurgence in appeal for a brand like this from Five Nights at Freddy's, right? It's kind of the inspiration for this. So, I mean, maybe, to some of those, there's some appeal there as well. But post-pandemic though, a lot of this has been kind of shaken up, and so the decline in retail, decline in shopping malls, and the viability of them have definitely dropped off a bit more post that time period right there. So I'm not quite sure about this. And Gridley comes in here. Seems like it's almost a form of money laundering. Now, I don't want to go that far, but it is kind of weird.
Well, here's the funny thing is I actually think, and somebody suggested, Texas84 suggested in the chat, theme it to Five Nights at Freddy's. I actually think that's a better idea, despite the fact that that is themed after murder and people's souls being sucked out of their bodies, children's souls being sucked out of their bodies. I do think that would be more successful. But also, that is a show, that is a series, a franchise that is definitely for kids. I'll just say, I don't think they really thought through this thing. I think somebody at the top said, well, what can we do? And then they didn't actually fully execute on what this plan should be. If they're going for appeal to adults, well, those also don't look like the kind of adults that would be nostalgic for the original Chuck E. Cheese. But to each their own. If it's successful, I will be surprised. I won't eat my hat because who knows?
Yeah, who knows if you'll even have a hat to eat by that point. No, I'm joking. When it comes to this whole project right here, I don't know. I think something more experience driven, I think, was the way to go. I think and people have been proffering a lot of ideas in the chat right there. A horror arcade from Stern Shadow Dude 2. Yes, I that's a fantastic idea, right? Not quite an escape room, but maybe something that is kind of like I was saying before, more experience driven, more kind of boutique, more bespoke, something that is unique enough to get you at that specific location. I think that's what you need for something like this. And it's kind of unfortunate they didn't go in that direction. And Marty Snyder, fantastic chat right here. I wish Disneyland would bring a Flynn's Arcade into Tomorrowland. I agree with this wholeheartedly. Why didn't we do this at Magic Kingdom with the Tron ride? That should have been like day one. Okay, let's go ahead and either incorporate a Flynn's Arcade into like maybe the exit of the Tron attraction, or a separate building, in fact, or a connected building, something, in order to bring some more of that Tron world into a place like Magic Kingdom. That was, that should have been a day one thing right there. And they did not. And similarly with this, I think something like this, even if it wasn't in the form of an arcade, could have been far more viable. But you just need to do something really, really special, really, really showcase something, give people something that they can actually travel to. I just don't see it here. So that's unfortunate. If these actually last, I don't know. I'm not too sure about this. And a lot of people saying this is like Dave & Buster's. This isn't even really like Dave & Buster's. That's kind of what I thought when I initially heard of the project. From what I have seen, it's even smaller scale than that. So maybe it is an investment that doesn't involve a lot of capital, so there's not a lot of risk. I don't know. I don't really see it. But who am I? Who am I to judge people's attempts to take back their nostalgia? There you go. Walter Tomaszewski with the 199. CC should focus on tastier pizza, not gimmicks. Happy Chuck E. Cheese. I agree. Chuck E. Cheese pizza. What I understand, oh, good. Eclipse Warlord with the $10. This Chuck's Arcade has a trampoline zone with the same height max as any other Chuck E. Cheese. Data would be no kids, plus alcohol has been served for decades. 1 an hour, max 2. How very interesting. Did not know that. That is good information to know. And Archer Merchant with the $5. Yes, they actually made an award show to give the award. And when I first heard adult Chuck E. Cheese, I told my friend, you mean Dave & Buster's? Exactly. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people think about when they hear about, an adult Chuck E. Cheese, which the Attractions Magazine article references as multiple times. So, where's the appeal here? Where's the unique offering that gets you into a location like this? If Dave & Buster's, which is a far better experience for adults, already exists, how can you differentiate yourself in that regard? Or can you even when you attach it to a brand like Chuck E. Cheese? Oh man, there's a lot of stuff here. But Levy, if you want to go ahead and recapture some nostalgia, well, you have 11 locations in the US to do it.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.